So you're building with AI agents. You are right on the front lines of a revolution. But let's be honest, it's also a complete jungle out there, right? Well, a new study just dropped, and it's basically a map to this wild new territory. We're going to turn it into your survival guide, starting right now. I mean, it feels like it happened overnight. All of a sudden, there are more than 100 open source agent frameworks out there. It's a total gold rush, and every single one is promising to be the next big thing that makes building these autonomous agents a piece of cake. And the developer community is just on fire for this stuff. We're talking over 400,000 GitHub stars lighting up these projects. The potential is obviously huge, but all of this hype, it's created a very, very real problem. And here's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Where do you even start? The research shows that over 80% of developers are really struggling to pick the right framework. All this noise is actually making it harder, not easier, to find the right path. So we're here to fix that. Okay, to survive out there, you've got to know the terrain. And what you need to realize is that these frameworks aren't all the same. They're specialists. Think of it less like trying to pick one perfect hammer and more like you're assembling a full-on toolbox. So after digging through literally thousands of developer discussions, the study found a pattern. The whole landscape can basically be broken down into 4 key roles. If you get these, I promise you're going to make much, much smarter choices. First up, orchestration frameworks. Okay, think of these guys as the conductors of your AI orchestra. They're not playing an instrument themselves, but they're the ones telling the models, the APIs, and all the tools what to do and when to do it. LangChain is the perfect example here. Next up, multi-agent collaboration. Because, sometimes one agent just isn't enough. These frameworks let you build a whole team of specialized AIs that can work together, debate, and share the workload. AutoGen is a great example of this. It literally turns tasks into conversations between different agents. Then we have data processing. An agent is pretty useless without good information, right? Frameworks like Llama Index are the librarians. They use what's called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, to connect your agent to all sorts of external data. That's how you make sure it gives factual, context-aware answers. And finally, we have the experimental frameworks. You can think of these as the R&D labs of the agent world. We're talking about projects like Baby AGI, which are less about building production-ready apps and more about just pushing the limits of what agents can do, really paving the way for the next big breakthroughs. Now, here is the big reveal from the study. The best, most successful agent projects are not using just one tool. A massive 96% of them are combining frameworks. Like pairing an orchestrator like LangChain with a data processor like Llama Index to build a killer Q&A bot. The takeaway here is crystal clear. A single framework just isn't going to cut it anymore. So, you've got the map, you're feeling good, but this jungle is absolutely full of hidden traps. The study analyzed over 8,700 developer discussions to pinpoint the exact things that go wrong time and time and time again. And this chart, wow, it says it all, doesn't it? The challenges in agent development really fall into 4 main traps. Logic failures are the biggest problem at 35%. Then you've got tool failures at 26%, version conflicts at 24%, and finally, performance issues at 15%. Let's break these down. The number one biggest trap, the one causing over 1/3 of all problems, is logic failure. This is when the agent's own reasoning just goes haywire. It gets confused, it gets stuck in a loop, or it just gives up. And it's not a bug in your code, it's a flaw in its thinking process. And check out this quote from the paper. It hits the nail on the head. Over 1/5 of all failures happen because the agent simply has no idea when to stop. It just gets stuck in a loop, burning through your API credits and your time until it finally crashes. The second trap is tool failure, and this one is so frustrating. Your agent comes up with this brilliant plan, but it's totally useless because it can't connect to the outside world. We're talking API limits, permission errors, or some library that just refuses to cooperate. The agent's hands are tied. And trap number 3, oh boy, version conflicts. If you're a developer, you already know this nightmare. The study found it affects almost 1/4 of all projects. The whole ecosystem just moves so fast that one single update can trigger a total cascade of failures across your entire application. The final trap is all about performance. Because look, a super smart agent doesn't mean much if it's painfully slow and forgetful. The research points to huge issues with high latency, especially in those RAG pipelines, and really poor memory management, where agents literally forget what they were talking about mid-conversation. This question just perfectly captures the frustration that runs through all four of those traps. I mean, it's the kind of thing that keeps developers up at night. So, how do you avoid these pitfalls and actually pick the right tools? Let's figure that out. All right, now for the solution. We've got our map of the roles, and we know where the hidden traps are. So now we can use this study's analysis to build a really practical guide for choosing your framework, one that's based on your actual needs, not just the latest hype. So think of this as your personal cheat sheet. The study found LangChain is fantastic for beginners and for getting prototypes up and running fast. But its huge ecosystem means maintenance can be a real headache. AutoGen, it's the undisputed king of multi-agent collaboration, but it also comes with that high maintenance cost. And Llama Index is your best bet for any data-heavy RAG tasks, and its maintenance load is a bit more manageable. Okay, we've covered a lot, so after all of that, what is the one single thing you really need to remember from all this research? It's this. Stop searching for a silver bullet, the one perfect framework. It just doesn't exist. Success in this new world of agent development comes from being a strategist, from understanding the different roles and combining frameworks to build a toolkit that's way more powerful than any single one of its parts. And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. As these agent systems get more and more complex, more unpredictable, the line between building and debugging is getting really blurry. In a world of unexpected loops and constant version conflicts, maybe the most important skill for the next generation of developers won't be building, but debugging.